Williams on Influencers Podcast today. It's Friday morning, and I'm so glad we're here with you today that you joined us. I want to introduce you in a moment to John Crestani, the founder of Advancepay, who's our guest today on the Influencers Podcast. It's been a great time here in Atlanta, Georgia. The rains have ceased. And the weather's fine. I hope it's fine wherever you are. Let's bring John on from sunny Malibu, California. Hello, John.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you. Happy to be here.
Good, good. Well, did your jet stream cease bringing all that water down to California, or are you still in the drench mode?
Oh man, we've been dealing with a lot of drainage issues. I've guys outside right now building retaining walls, putting in French drains, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, so it's
It's an unprecedented time for California. Again, it's either drought or it's fires or it's too much rain. I know you live in a land of beauty, but you sure have the weather.
Yeah. It's been yeah, we have to deal with a lot of craziness out here in California.
Yeah. Well, I was excited that you would be able on our podcast with us today because you're quite well known as a YouTube star and you have a great ability to help companies get going. So I want to have our audience find out more about who you are, what is Advancepay. So tell us where you were, what happened, and who you were surrounded by that inspired you to do what you're doing today.
Sure. Well, I'd started programming at 8 years old. So, being involved with computers has always been something that's, kind of been in my DNA early on. In 2016, just fast forwarding really far, I'd made a bunch of money doing affiliate marketing, and I sold my performance ad agency that I had used to make over $10 million doing affiliate marketing. And I started trying to figure out, how I could help the world. That's kind of like my mantra is how do I be the most helpful? So that's why I started YouTubing to teach people about, how the content creators, how they could make more money, and, also business owners, how they could work with more content creators. But where I ended up at is I said, that's great. I've built a great audience YouTubing, but, I really want to solve this problem in marketing. So I decided to start building Advancepay to solve this problem through software, and really literally just show business owners who are the best content creators to work with out of, who are the needles in this 50 million person haystack, because there's over 50 million content creators right now. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
So you have a system where a content creator can monetize. Is that kind of the bottom line, what Advancepay is?
We're not exactly. We're focused purely on just how to identify. We're focused. What Advancepay does is we have exportable lists of content creators, showing companies who are the best people to work with, and we're doing that based on a extra layer of analysis, which is showing who has this content creator, what companies have they promoted in the past, and what were their results.
I gotcha. So you had to have some reasons to move from this to the next step, There had to be a failure story somewhere in there that led you to learn something critical. How'd you do that and recover to go beyond to the next step?
Sure. So where it started was, after I'd sold my ad agency in 2016, I'd started YouTubing and selling information products. I was teaching, I was selling marketing courses, basically video courses online. And we were merchant processing through ClickBank, which is an affiliate network. Now, I didn't realize, I'd never reached out to any affiliates or influencers to promote my product. But what I'd realized was, I looked in ClickBank one day and I said, whoa, we made like you know, $5,000, $10,000 this month from, you know, these micro influencers promoting my training courses. And I said, that's odd. I don't know who any of these people are. You know, they're selling my products. You know, that's cool. So what I decided to do is I said, you know, I decided to hit them up and, you know, ask them how I could help them make more sales. And I decided to start doing outreach to some other influencers who were writing blogs and who had Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups about, you know, marketing related advice. And what I found was that I was able to increase the number of affiliates or micro influencers promoting my product by almost 25 times. So we were getting almost $250,000 in sales per month from me just doing some targeted outreach to people with marketing, you know, audiences around marketing advice. And it was incredible. So the way I was doing that was I was reaching out to people who were already promoting other marketing advice related programs and just saying, hey, look, ours is better. Here's a better deal. Now what Advancepay is we are really taking that insight of saying, you know, hey, we need to know who's working with our competitors. So we could, you know, if you're selling a, you know, a teeth whitening kit, like you should know who else is selling teeth whitening kits on the internet, who else is marketing these products. So you can just reach out to them and say, hey man, you know, or woman, you know, we got something else you might want to consider. And, you know, we might be able to make you a better deal because it works.
Well, that's a good segue to the next question. The top 3 reasons people fail. You've seen a lot of successes. You've seen a lot of people who kind of get started and fall by the wayside. What would you say to the people listening of the top 3 reasons?
Great question. Great question. So I've taught over 50,000 students through my, you know, marketing and affiliate marketing related training programs. And I've taken a very deep dive into these reasons. The top 3 reasons why people fail are, first off, it's lack of focus or prioritization. Oftentimes, it took me 4 years of trial and error to successfully create my business, to really become an entrepreneur, to shift myself out of that, you know, that just over broke, that job. And my students, similarly, they lose focus a lot of times. Now, this is in part going deeper into this. Usually it's because of some family situation. It's usually some emotionally difficult situation. You know, their sister got sick and they need to move to a different city and watch over their sister, and they leave their business by the wayside. Something like that, right? These are not easy situations for humans to deal with. Another major reason, other than lack of focus, and generally all the reasons go back to lack of focus, I would say is lack of motivation. Many folks are what I call, you know, coming out of this short-term thinking mindset, which TikTok and Instagram and all the social media networks are trying to condition our brains to think, you know, like goldfish, right? Goldfish are easily, you know, controlled. And getting out of that short-term mindset where, you know, we're judging the success or failure of a business based on a, you know, a 3-week period, a 2-week period, a 1-week period, is difficult. You know, starting an internet business or an influencer business or whatever it is takes, you know, I advise people, you have to be grinding on this, you know, like a gym, like a relationship for 6 months minimum before you can truly determine whether you are going to see success or failure in this business. And 6 months is a big commitment for a lot of people to not see any traction with if they're used to getting paid every hour that they're working. The third reason, you're making me stretch here, Bill. The third reason I can think of, man, um, I'd say it kind of goes back to the other two, but I'd say a new relationship, some sort of new relationship in somebody's life causes them once again to lose motivation or focus. But yeah, I'd say it really comes down to those three reasons.
Yeah, it sounds like a shiny object gets in the way, whether it's a person, an opportunity, a trouble, a new relationship, like you say. People lose focus on their primary goal. Now, what
Well, they're
about
trying to
motivation?
control us. But sorry, I won't go on a crazy tirade rant about things that can be potentially considered conspiracy theories.
Well, that could happen. What motivates you internally to keep going beyond the time that most people give it up?
For sure, for sure. It might sound silly, it might sound arbitrary, but I believe everybody is here for a purpose. I believe everybody has a true north as as a spirit, a soul, a human being, a personality, whatever you want to call it. And my goal, my true north, is to be as helpful as possible, to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be, and I feel like I'm doing it.
Well, I can imagine that's very true. Tell me about the motto for Advancepay.
The motto for Advancepay is we had a motto. Oh my gosh, I forgot it. It's helping. Our motto is. Let's think of it right now, Bill. Let's think of it right now. Um, scaling the influencer marketing economy. There we
I
go.
like it. Spread the wealth.
Scaling influencers. I mean, and going around to that, it's the influencer market has been really high ROAS. We've seen FTX, we've seen Lululemon, we've seen, Robinhood, we've seen a huge number of companies that have absolutely exploded because the ROI they're getting from influencer marketing activities is through the freaking roof. It's the highest ROI in the entire market right now. But the problem is if you are a company, I don't care how much money you got in your wallet to spend, if you want to hire 1,000 influencers to start promoting your company next month, it's impossible. Logistically, it's impossible right now. Whereas if I wanted if I wanted to advertise on 1,000 websites next week, I can literally just go to Google, tap a few buttons, and boom, Google's spending my money. I'm advertising on 1,000 websites. So the problem is, how do you create processes internally as a company to A, correctly identify where the ROI is in influencer marketing, and B is how do you create processes internally to scale? We're focused purely on the who to talk to and the identification parts, but eventually we want to actually facilitate helping companies scale that process internally so that they can fully utilize it.
Well, it sounds like that would be connected to a success secret that people can use to model from. Maybe they will be buying from Advancepay. Maybe they will be using some aspect of what you have, which we'll find out later. But what would you say are the three success secrets that you would promote?
The first one, and it's funny because I'm raising money from the venture capital community. We've raised money from for this company, and many folks in this kind of like VC industry, they don't really, it's a very simple insight. They don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get the power of it. How huge this insight is. They want like sexy words around it, like AI or I don't know, like something like that. The insight is the most effective way to select creators is reaching out to creators who have already worked with your competitors. Plain simple. It's old school marketing. It's been around for hundreds of years. If I'm a company, 100 years ago, if I was a company selling jeans and I saw my competitor was advertising consistently in the New York Post, and back in the day, 100 years ago, they were measuring the effectiveness of every single advertisement. And I knew they were getting ROI from advertising in the New York Post. Guess what I did? I bought ads. I bought ads in the New York Post. It's simple. You don't even need to think. You don't need to be a madman, a marketing genius, Madison Avenue guy to figure that out. You just advertise where your competitors are already making money selling the same sort of product. Now, the same thing applies to influencer marketing, or, selecting creators. And that's why we've put together, and we've taken a lot of time and money to put together the only database which shows what creators are working with what companies, selling what products. This is a huge insight, and it's simple. It works. It's effective. It's been effective for me. It's been effective for many other folks. And yeah, we're just growing and continuing to build stuff out.
Well, tell me about your question that comes up then is, why should somebody buy from you, from Advancepay? What is the thing they're getting?
Sure. It takes about 2 weeks for the average PR agency or ad agency to put together a target list of influencers to work with. About 1 to 2 weeks. We reduce that time to, a couple minutes. So we just save time. We give companies, or just, the companies themselves, lists of influencers to work with, their contact information. And we also get rid of a lot of the anxiety in this field around, the question is on everybody's mind, what do you pay what do I pay this influencer? What's fair? Where am I getting a good deal, a bad deal? We give a range of what is a fair, acceptable amount, to negotiate with. And so we save a lot of time. We provide a lot of transparency in terms of the pricing of what people should be paying, what's fair, so you don't get screwed. And we just make the whole process easier for folks, and we help them get ROI. It's a pretty good deal.
Sounds like that's a big need out there, because most people don't know all those details. And to find that ideal client, who would you be looking for to be one of your influencers, or on the other side, to be a company that purchases your information?
Yeah, our ideal client is PR agencies, PR firms that are, maybe you're charging 5, 10, $1,000 a month or whatever that is. And you're probably just spending your time, you have some, assistant or associate, Googling, for your clients, how, top influencers for, laundromats, or, they're just Googling stuff right now, trying to, so you're trying to get your billables up, offering influencer marketing services. We allow you a way to get ROI doing that, selecting influencers that are going to get ROI. And we make it easier for you to offer this service to any client. If you're charging clients $5,000 a month, you could probably be getting $50,000 a month if you were handling their, creating first party influencer connections for them and hiring those influencers. We'll help you make more money, and we'll help your clients be serviced, and we'll help you become almost like a media buying agency for your clients, so you can get more of that advertising and marketing budget for yourself. It's a great situation overall. I
gotcha. So how do you go about finding those ideal clients? Do you go out and get them yourself, or do you have a database that's ready made?
Yeah, there's 200. So, both. Right. So right now we're in the build process. We've just raised, a couple $100,000. So what we're really doing is I'm just working one-on-one with a few select clients that are people who run agencies that I've known. I'm taking it really slow and really easy. I'm taking a slow, measured approach to building this company and really nailing down the product, so that, because you can go down rabbit holes with development and just spend millions of dollars developing the wrong thing. So I'm taking it slow, but eventually what we're doing is we have a list of 226,000 PR agencies in the US, and we'll be doing outreach to those people, hitting them up on email, following up on LinkedIn, hitting them up through DM on Instagram or Twitter or wherever they are, 100%. And we'll just systematically go through that list and start letting people know in our industry.
Excellent. Well, tell us more detail about what are your well-defined products and services.
Yeah, so where we're starting with is exportable lists. We make customized self-service exportable lists of the top influencers in different categories and for specific companies. That's the name of the game. If I'm promoting, let's say, a car wash, I want to know who are the top people to talk about the car washes, or maybe I want to know the top influencers in my specific local area. Being able to have a list of that information, what to pay these people, a pricing sheet and their contact information is, and having that fast without having to, try to jerry rig, some random information from a gazillion different sources is very valuable. That's our first thing, just exportable lists. Eventually, we intend to offer escrow services so that, once we've built up a good reputation in the industry, we intend to get in the middle of the transaction and become there will be a Google or Facebook sized player that will eventually emerge in the influencer marketing space. And we intend to be that person.
So right now, how do you crush your competition?
100%. It's moving faster. It's moving faster than them. It's putting more advantages on our side in terms of leverage. I have money, but the reason I raised money is because it's easier to raise more money if you raise some money. If you have those, kind of like ins, if you're in that like little boys club. So we want to use finance as a leverage tool. We have my audience as a leverage tool. We have, my marketing, advertising acumen as a leverage tool. And, my CTO comes from Amazon AWS. So we're just trying to put as many advantages on our side in terms of people, in terms of capital, et cetera, so that it's inevitable that we win this market.
Absolutely. Well, everybody uses their favorite platforms. I wondered what your 3 favorite platforms are that you guys rely on.
Well, I have to say YouTube because my audience is on YouTube. I think I'm a personal user of YouTube. I learned so many, I learned how to drive an excavator on YouTube. I learned how to build retaining walls on YouTube. I learned all these things. The other 2 platforms I rely on is Slack. We use Slack internally. We don't even use the paid plan. We use the free plan, and it's fantastic. It's where all our communication happens. And the third platform that we use is, I don't know, text message, basic.
You said the third platform was what?
Text message. If that's a platform, I'd consider it an app, so at this point.
Yeah. And of those platforms, do you consider them all a high value then?
Do you consider I consider YouTube very high platform. I think the knowledge transfer, that the ability for anyone to learn anything in their life is absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason for it. People don't even need anything you can learn in college, you can learn on YouTube now at this point. There's no reason for anyone to be, for anyone to not be in the situation financially or personally or emotionally that they don't want to be, when literally all of the world's knowledge is here for free at your fingertips.
I kind of believe that's true. The university is slowly sinking in its value, and online is where it's at. How do you deliver a five-star client experience?
It's creating a good culture in your company that is highly customer focused. My first company did not reach the heights it should have because I was so focused on money. I was so flashy. I was going to clubs. I would spend $35,000 in a single night on alcohol at a club in Vegas, and I would gloat about it and post about it, and this created a terrible culture within my company. I had employees stealing from me, I had clients stealing from me, and all sorts of things. The proper culture for a five, having a completely customer centric employee base and attitude towards customers is the most important thing for a five-star client experience. And the most important thing that I'm always asking clients and customers and my employees is, how can I be more helpful? How can I be more helpful? What else would you like? What else could I deliver to you? What would make this even better? And there's a game we play within my company where, and it originates from a copywriting exercise, but it's saying, okay, what's better than that? And you keep going down that line. So we say, okay, what can we deliver the customer that would be worth $1,000? It's like a video training course that teaches them affiliate marketing or something. And we say, what's better than that? It's like, well, they have live group coaching sessions. What's better than that? Well, instead of a video course, John actually shows up at their house and shows them live. Okay, what's better than that? Well, what's better than that is that not only does John show them live, but he checks in on them every week, personally with a phone call. What's better than that? Well, instead of John showing them how to do it, John sets up their affiliate marketing activities for them and shows up at their house with flowers in person every week, and delivers a check of how much money they've earned. So it's an exercise that you continue. How do you, and then you obviously have to bring stuff back to reality, right? That's not possible with 50,000 students. But the idea is you're figuring out what's the most you can deliver before you bring things back to, what the reality is of the situation. And thinking like that has allowed us to always focus on over delivering for the customer. And it's created a great culture within my company that is customer centric.
That sounds to me like you create the brand ambassador with the five-star client experience, because what's better than that? And you seem like you have gone through your midlife crisis early enough where you found out what success can buy you and you didn't need it. And then you figured out maybe you can do something that's better for the community and you survived.
I like how you call the whole thing a midlife crisis. Yeah, probably.
I
I got
spent thirty-five
divorced,
thousand dollars
my house
on booze
burnt
in
down,
Vegas.
I got divorced. Yeah, that probably fits the bill. So
That would
yeah.
probably amount to how much I spent in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably.
it's good to know you survived. That's the best news of all. So that's the question I wanted to bring up. What are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for today? Um, Man, I'm grateful for my kids. I love my kids. My kids, I have two girls. One's 3, one's 6. I'm grateful specifically that, I'd say I'm grateful for my youngest daughter's smile and and her great belly laugh. She has this amazing belly laugh that just lights up any room. And then I'm grateful for my 6-year-old Lily. She went down her first ski slope all on her own, up a chairlift, down S turns on a ski slope, all on her own. And I'm so grateful she got it. That was the first time. It's like a miracle. So that's really exciting.
Well, I love skiing too. Tell me, how do you start every day with those kids in the house? I met a real interesting morning.
27. I do 27 push-ups. I wash my face, and I make myself tea every single morning. Those same 3 things are necessary before I get into the day, and I always do them.
Get the blood pumping. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly.
How do you plan to achieve your goal of taking Advancepay to the same level you've taken your other companies?
Great question. The first is through The first is, we're growing traffic through SEO and me YouTubing, and providing these lists, making sure that we are getting ROI always. And that means integrating with, all the different platforms these clients are working with, bringing in data and doing some artificial intelligence stuff to make sure that we are hooking them up with creators that are getting ROI. Now, if you're getting ROI for a company, you scale. So I'd say, the plan, which is get ROI in this new market, is pretty solid. We have to focus on that. But from a meta perspective, right, it's persistence. From a meta perspective, it's persistence. It's continuing to go through. Even, I had 100 investors I pitched tell me this is boring, there's not enough traction, there's been a gazillion, companies claiming to scale and get ROI from the creator economy. I've had 100 investors. These are smart people, say, these are people who are richer than me in most cases, saying this is stupid. And so being able to be persistent through all of this, being able to be persistent, even when, my development team is moving slower than I'd like, or my videos aren't getting enough views, or we're not getting enough traffic, or people aren't signing up for the paid plan as much as possible. And everything around me, my whole soul and my whole identity is being crushed by the responses of other people. It's having that persistence, it's belief, it's having faith that can drive me through and make sure that no matter what, I'm focused. I know I made a decision to start this company, and seeing it all the way through so I'd say from a meta perspective, that is the plan to achieve my goal.
I doubt that anybody that failed to invest with you early will be happy when they see how well you do. I have a feeling you're going to do just as well. Here's a question that's kind of detail related. Has paid digital media like Facebook and Google, LinkedIn ads played a role in your growth so far?
100%. I mean, my whole career has been based on buying ads and making back more than that. So every single company I've started, every single company, every single dollar I've made has somehow been a result of spending money on Google or Facebook or YouTube ads and using that to get ROI. So yeah, it's been pivotal. I'd say for people that are using advertising, if you're selling information, shoot for a 1.5x ROAS. If you're selling a hard good with, product costs, shoot for a 2.5 to 3x ROAS, which is a return on ad spend. And if you just abide by that system, you can grow any business. The biggest businesses today have been grown by direct response advertising. Coca-Cola grew through direct response advertising back in the day. And since then, they've become a major international brand. So direct response advertising is the way to get rich, in my opinion, if you are selling any sort of product.
Yeah, that pretty much goes along with that question I come to next is the percentage of revenue you'd recommend investing in the paid media in this day and age.
I recommend spending. That's a good question. In our case, we're spending about 30%, 30 to 40% of revenue on paid media. Again, we are a company. We are a direct response advertising company working off of 2.5 to 3x ROAS. That's how it works, and we get ROI. Now, beyond that, I would say, I'd say if you're just getting started, if you don't have that ROI yet, $1,000 tests, $1,000 tests is all that's needed. Spend $1,000 a month on a different platform and spend it until you test a new type of audience, test a new kind of marketing angle, test a new landing page, but do $1,000 test each time you have something new to test in marketing until you are seeing that $1,000 return to you threefold in revenue.
Yeah, and the company that doesn't know their ROI on ads is typically not going to do so well. They do need to know their numbers.
Yeah. And by the way, when I say ads, I also mean hiring creators. It's the same thing. It's wherever you can get traffic and eyeballs and attention.
So look back at your youth and knowing what you know now, John, where would you say you'd give advice to that 20-year-old boy that was just thinking about getting going?
I'd say focus more on company culture, right? And be more focused, think bigger. I tell myself to think bigger and focus more on what culture you're creating and whether that's going to allow you to get to the place you want.
Would you tell people to keep a real close watch on what the newest and the latest social media platforms might be as people are migrating to a new platform?
I 100%. I think that's an assumed activity in any company. We're advertising on TikTok ads right now, and we're seeing a 10x ROAS, meaning that every dollar we spend on TikTok comes back to us tenfold. Now, we're in the golden era of TikTok ads right now, and if people aren't advertising on there, they're crazy. If people advertised on there and weren't able to get ROI, well, they're doing it wrong. You need to figure it out. But that's the biggest opportunity, and people should be doing it. People are becoming millionaires. People are becoming multi-millionaires and building huge businesses from advertising on the new social media platforms. I know I made a ton of money back in the day because I was early to advertising on Facebook. So it's obvious if you aren't figuring these things out, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to grow your company.
So look out for the MySpaces of the world and keep your eyes out for what's coming, not what used to be.
100%. And all it takes is a test. You should continually, just like major companies invest in research and development, you too should invest in new marketing channels, to get leads or to get customers for your products or services.
Yeah. My living mentor in marketing was J. Conrad Livingston. I was personally trained by him as a guerrilla marketing instructor, along with being a dentist. And he always said, be seen everywhere all the time. So I know you have mentors that you kind of ascribe to, and what's their impact on you? Who would it be?
A big mentor for me was a man named, ironically, his internet pseudonym was the Rich Jerk, but he's actually a very good man. He's Name is Kelly Felix. He has something like, I mean, he's a big family. He has like something like 12 kids or something. He lives in San Diego. And what he took, I don't know, he gave me an opportunity. You know, I was managing ads for his company, and he gave me a commission. And he had told me originally, he said, I'll give you 3% commission of sales. And, you know, and he did, even when the company was making millions of dollars a month off of the leads that I was generating through the advertising. He continued to, you know, honor his agreement and pay me the commissions I was owed. And that got up to $100,000 a month. And this is when I was 22, 23. That showed me the power of really being an affiliate, you know, being cut in on, you know, the business, which is what you are when you are working on a performance basis. You're an affiliate marketer or whatever. And, you know, being able to make a lot of money like that pretty early on in my career was motivating. It got me into this business. You know, I ended up making a lot more from advertising other companies. And, you know, he honored an agreement that he could have, and that many people would have backed out on. And it changed my entire life for the better forever.
I can see how that would.
Yeah.
22-year-old with that kind of an income would be a dangerous boy.
I was.
So why is being impactful now important to you?
I mean, you know, what other purpose do we have other than to pass on our, pass on ourselves, you know, through children, you know, through having children, through creating families, through passing on good values to others where we can affect them. What other purpose do we have than to help make the world a better place, than to connect people in a value-added way, such as connecting, you know, good influencers with, you know, good companies and products and services? What other purpose do we have than to, you know, in my view, you know, go out into the cosmos and explore not just this beautiful world, which we are living on heaven, I believe. You know, this is, you know, there's no other planet like this in the universe, but it is still our duty to, you know, as human beings, to constantly be going on missions outside of our own home, and you know, spreading ourselves around the universe, you know, and exploring what's been created for us or by us, or, you know, whatever you believe, you know, figuring out these questions and mysteries of the universe. I don't, you know, it's, you know, our mission is not watching TikTok. Our mission is not watching Instagram stories. It's spreading. And, you know, I want to be a good member of the human race and make the most of my time here on Earth.
Yeah, I kind of figured for you it would be family and friends and taking care of the next generation, especially when you have a 3 and a 6-year-old. It makes you think.
Well, I'm here to create more of the next generation. You know, I'm not done with kids yet. You know, like, you know, I want to grow a big family, and you know, that's important to me.
There you go.
Space. Yeah.
What would you like to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered for really my long-term goal is to start a space company and to make a big impact there. You know, I'm taking my time here on Earth, you know, to make a lot of money, make a lot of kids, you know, pass on knowledge to a lot of people. But I'd say the big vision is to eventually progress ourselves in some form or capacity to spread throughout the universe, because we're in a very special point in human history, an inflection point where we are going to become a multiplanetary species very soon, and we need hardworking, dynamic individuals to help move us there. and I intend to be one of those.
Let's go to Mars and see what we can do there first, right? How can we support you and particularly Advancepay?
Sure. You know, I would encourage folks, sign up for Advancepay, send me an email, you know, it's my name at gmail.com. Give me feedback. You know, if you sign up for Advancepay, use it, you know, and give me feedback, you know, send me an email. That would be actually, you know, that would be amazing. You know, but really it's, you know, just trying to help people and getting feedback on what we're building and how we can be more helpful is the best way you can support me. It's hard to get feedback nowadays through the internet. So the more feedback I get, the more I can be helpful.
Well, hopefully our audience worldwide will be listening in and give you feedback. What would you say about your guest experience on the show today?
I love it. You know, I love hanging out and chatting with you, Bill. So, you know, it's a good time. Always a good time.
Thank you. We're always glad to have interesting guests, and John, you've certainly been that. Because you're on the West Coast, I'm going to sign off in a minute, but I want you to have the final word because the sun sets later on the West Coast, and so you have the last word.
Sure. I just say, you know, with anything in marketing, you know, you're going to hear a lot of voices. You're going to hear a lot of ideas. You're going to get a gazillion different, you know, things you should be doing. But remember that the most important thing is what you remove from your life to allow yourself to become successful in you know, with influencers or with marketing. And removal is hard. Removal is hard, but it's necessary. Remove those bad influences. If you're getting notifications on your phone every day that are taking you away, making you a monkey, you know, turn off notifications on your phone, remove some apps, remove some email lists, unsubscribe from some email lists, you know, whatever you can do, you know, but do not allow the technology companies to run your life and make you a reactionary monkey. You know, really take a conscious focus on what is taking up time or space in your brain and remove those things so you can allow space for yourself to take these wonderful teachings from Dr. Bill and others.
Well, that's been a most interesting completion of the Influencer podcast, as I've heard, and I think the advice is well given. I thank you for joining us, and I know our audience has been thoroughly entertained by your multiple successes being explained in great detail. Thank you, John, for everything that you've given to the world and will continue to give. And I wish you the best of all. And all the people in the Influencers Podcast world say thank you for being on our show.
No doubt. Great talking to you, Dr. Bill.
Thank you. Well, we're going to close off this broadcast today and enjoy our weekend. I want you all to tune in again next week. Be sure to like and comment below, especially talk about John Crestani and his company, because it is an outstanding opportunity. If you want to grow your company, you need to get with John. So we are able to come together with another broadcast starting Monday morning. Take care.
Hey, Doc.